Hey, what's going on, all y'all freaks and geeks out there? We are the Square Round Table. And first and foremost, I want to thank all you guys that tuned into our podcast on YouTube last week. And I want to thank all of y'all that tuned in to our radio show on Power 214 last Friday. We really appreciate all the love, guys. And just for an announcement today, our good friend Marcus Long has now become an official member of the Square Round Table. Give it up. Yes, yes, yes.
All right.
Hey, he's
All
part of us
right.
now. One of us.
Yes.
One
One of
of
us.
us. One
One
of
of
us.
us. Exactly. Exactly. So, yeah, man. So go ahead and introduce yourselves, guys.
Deep.
I'm Josh.
And since I'm a member now, I'm Marcus, so I don't need that introduction. What's up? What's up? What's
Hey,
up?
what's up?
All right. All right. Well, all right. For all of our watchers out there on YouTube and all of our listeners on power214.com, today we are having a part two of our last podcast, and I'm posing the question: what makes a good comic book adaptation in movies and television shows? Today, specifically, we're going to be paying attention to more so of the television shows with Gotham and the Arrowverse, and just some things like that. I kind of want to start off with the Arrowverse since there's so many different types of superheroes that they try to cover, like the Flash and Black Lightning, and even Legends of Tomorrow. So I'll just really let you guys start us off. Like Demetrius, what do you want to talk about in the Arrowverse, man?
We can start off with I'll start off with the Arrow because that's the first show that came out. Arrow's what started it all,
Okay.
and I think the Arrow, for most of its seasons, I say maybe seasons 1, 2, and 5 were really good. Like 1 and 2 were good because they had like Slade came out of nowhere and was
Mm.
like, "I'm gonna take over the city," and like Oliver's like, "Nah, we're not having that." And then and then season 5 was like all of his. Oh, sorry, spoiler warning.
Please, spoiler warning.
Spoiler
Yes,
warning.
spoiler warning.
Spoiler warning all up and down the video. All right,
Okay.
here we go. It was his consequences from season 1, like all the killing he did.
Okay.
Like it came back to bite him, and like the main villain was like, "Hey, I'm here to get revenge for all that stuff and make you suffer for what you did. Even though you
Mm.
are a changed hero now, you came from a dark place." And that's another thing. Like they made him the Batman of the TV verse. Like they made him the Batman. Like they were like, "Yo, you're brooding, you're dark. You're only gonna be really attacking people at nighttime. Like you
Mhm.
Batman. You might be Arrow, but you Batman."
That's the one thing I don't really understand because in the comics, in the even in the old Justice League cartoons, what's his name? His name is Oliver Queen, right? That's his
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So right, so this is the same guy that pulls out boxing gloves and shoots them at people. Like, I mean, you know,
He did that at one point in time in the show. He literally took the boxing glove arrow and just shot it at somebody in the show.
I mean, I guess it works because how
And it was
many
so
seasons has it been?
8. It was 8 seasons. It
Wow,
finished
that's eight.
recently.
That's crazy.
And like it was so out of character. Like he was so a dark character or whatever in the show. And he pulled out a boxing glove arrow, and we're just like, dude, you've been Batman for like what 3, 4 seasons. Why are you pulling out a boxing glove arrow?
I think that with like the Arrowverse,
Mm-hmm.
it's really hard to get invested into it
Mm.
because like it starts off good, and then like I guess this because they have so many like episodes they have to make, which I learned a lot about that taking the TV like analysis class. Like they have to have a certain amount of episodes, so sometimes that's why they have like filler episodes or
Mm.
might drag some out for a couple episodes because they have to fill in, and meet that, I forget what it is, but they got to meet, a certain amount of episodes for us, to get them a whole season. So
Like that
I,
quota.
yeah, I can
Yeah.
understand, why, but it just feels like sometimes they just drag stuff out. Like for me, it was the Flash. Cause like
Yes.
with Arrow, I probably watched like a couple of episodes because if it was on TV. But with the Flash, I got into it because I was like, okay, it starts off good. This feels like the Flash. They didn't try to make him like Arrow, like make him dark and serious. Then they came with like the whole relationship with like him and Iris. Like 1 minute they together, 1 minute they not. 1 minute is some kind of dilemma that why they can't be together, or he didn't get there in enough time, so she got mad at him about a date, so they not talking. I was like, bruh, how
It's
long
real
can
life,
they
bro.
drag it
It's
out?
real life.
No, it's not either. It's like
I'm just kidding.
the only thing I agree with you, Marcus, about the I like the Flash. I like how they did the character. I think Grant Gustin, is the guy's name that actually plays
Yeah.
the Flash.
Mhm.
He did really good. He certainly did a lot better. And it's crazy because I actually really do like Ezra Miller from the Justice. I like him as an actor, but I feel like he was a little too huh?
It was almost like they tried to make him the Spider-Man of the
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was
yeah.
way too playful.
Way
Yeah.
too
They made him
playful.
They made him like they cast him as like Barry, but he should have cast him as like Wally or Bart, dude. And
Yeah.
I would have been okay about it. I'd have been like, oh,
I'd have
okay,
been okay with
Wally,
that.
because
The
Wally
Barry
is that kind of character.
Yeah, he joked, but you know he was just a little bit more serious at times.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. How about you, Josh? What do you like about the Arrowverse? Like, what's some of your favorites? What do you like? What do you dislike?
Well, all the shows in the Arrowverse, the show I watch the most is Black Lightning, and
Mm.
That's a
oh
good.
yeah, it's a real good show. But one thing I like about Black Lightning is how we're talking about filler. Black Lightning doesn't have any filler.
At all.
It does not have any filler.
I
Every
get to it.
episode is important information, and that's what I like about it. It gets straight to the point.
Yes,
Okay, okay.
just to
Okay.
piggyback off of Josh with Black Lightning, it's like it doesn't. It's not one of those shows where like one episode this happens, and then it's explained in like the next 3 episodes. It's like we keep it going so y'all can stay with. Like seriously, it's so good how they do it. It kind of keeps you in the show. Like, okay, I'm gonna keep watching it because I want to see what happens next. But I binge watched like the first season in probably like a day or two because it was like it wasn't like he said it's not filler. Each episode feels like it's important in its own way. And I was like,
Mm.
that's how you do a show, especially about a character. I don't know what it is about like characters that's not as popular, but for some reason they always work. And I think it's
Right.
because fans don't know as much about them. So it's
I
not
think
this
so.
expectation of, like, oh, okay, this is Batman. So I know it's gonna be like this. I need it to be like that. And then when you get it, you let down. But like with Black Lightning, it's a character that you know about, but then you never, it's nobody that's never been paid attention as much as the other characters. So it's like, okay, I'm just going into just like an open-minded attitude. I think that's why that one works like that.
Mm. That's a good point. That's a good point. Well, you just reminded me of something. So I'm gonna throw you guys a little bit of a curveball. I know y'all weren't really thinking about it because we haven't really discussed it previously. But as far as representation goes, because I know you and Joshua are big on Black Lightning, and I know you're big on Luke Cage too. So how do you think representation works as far as having Black Lightning on one end of the spectrum, then having Luke Cage? Because I know me and you talked about how they treated the Luke Cage universe. So I just kind of
Yeah.
want to talk about that. How do you think they represent Black people in both of those shows?
Well, with Black Lightning, I feel like he has more of a he's more powerful sometimes when he's not Black Lightning than he is when he is Black Lightning. Because, he's a principal at a school. He's giving back to his community. He has 2 daughters, he's trying to raise. Him and his wife are going through things, but he's that glue to everything in the community. And then, when he's Black Lightning, he going out there, beating people up and throwing them here, but he's not killing anyone because, he doesn't kill. He's trying to teach that to his daughters. Spoiler alert. When they gain their superpowers and stuff. And
Mhm.
it's a show that kind of uplifts and gives you a positive like image, and it doesn't make it like campy. Like with Luke Cage, you got a big black man going around beating people up, but he talking about some sweet Christmas and whatever. And do you want to go out for coffee? And
For
it's just
coffee.
like don't get me wrong. Like the show was good at some points, but then sometimes it was just like I don't know if it was like I don't want to say it was too black, but it just like it just was times where I just like okay, I can really live without this episode, man, because like some corny stuff. But as far as like representation, I think Black Lightning is on the right way when it comes to that. It's still some things that they can kind of get better at, but I think it's on the right path as far as like representation because it's giving you that positive image that we look for in like the hero, black, white, Chinese, whatever. So I definitely think
Right.
that's what the show has. I gravitated towards that one more.
Mm.
Right. And another thing about Black Lightning is I like how they kind of have a representation with maybe how black superheroes are treated versus white superheroes because Black
Mm.
Lightning and Freeland, he could be just as powerful as he is as a regular person, but him as Black Lightning, he isn't there as much for Freeland. Like he wants to be more so a family man than Black Lightning, and the people in Freeland are like, well, we still need a hero because all this stuff is going on. So all this mess
Right.
is going on in Freeland because Black Lightning isn't there, and people are just like discounting him as a hero because he's one of them. Because he doesn't have a whole disguise. You can tell he's a black guy.
Yeah.
Right. Well, he has definitely has more of a disguise than Luke Cage, but
He can walk around. Luke
but
Cage just like I am who I am, dude. Like you see me,
right.
you know who I am. Like you know what's about to happen. Like you see me
Like
Yeah.
coming
no
towards
crime.
you.
Exactly. Well, I like that. You guys both made great points. I really do. From what I've seen from Black Lightning, I appreciate the fact that they do show a black household. I like how they have him as a principal, a guy that truly cares about his neighborhood and all that kind of stuff. And it's definitely a lot of positivity. And it's subtle. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't really lean too hard on him being African American, which something to the point to where it becomes like it almost becomes like
A
a
theme.
satire, yeah, a theme or a
Yeah, a
satire
theme.
almost, because when I'm watching, even down to the way, and I know you can be with me on this, Marcus, even down to the lens that they use for Luke Cage, it
Yeah.
reminds me like of an extended, like one of those 90s McDonald's commercials,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, like where
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
where it's meant to be 100% black, like
Yeah.
it's just like
Right.
I don't, I just don't really. I mean, it's a good show, but
Yeah.
for my money, it just doesn't come together the
Yeah.
same way that Black Lightning does for me.
Yeah.
So,
Like
Go
like
ahead,
they're
Dmitri.
like they're both like really pro black shows. Like they really are. Like,
Yeah.
from two different, I guess you could say kind of two different ends, like you were saying. Like
mhm.
it's like from Black Lightning, from the little I've seen, it's like it's trying to like it seems like it's teaching, men to be around their family and to take care of their kids and to be there and
Yeah,
to be there for them no matter what. Like
hmm
I've seen him be there for his daughters when they were like in the wrong and like trying to teach them to be right. Like he tried to guide them back to being right. Like when I know like one of when his I think spoiler alert, I think when his oldest daughter was like wanting to go out there and just really just be about it and like go and hurt people, he was like, nah, that ain't the way. We got to do it this way,
Got Yep. That's exactly how.
And like with Black Lightning, or not Black Lightning, sorry, Luke Cage is like he's like it's like he's trying to be like super pro black, like to a point to where it's like a little excessive, like to where you're just like, oh, okay, I know what this is about.
Yeah,
And
it's almost like Black Dynamite esque. You know what I'm
yes,
saying?
yes, exactly. That's
Yeah,
what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
right.
Yeah, Black Dynamite's a perfect
Definitely.
example.
That
I
down
feel
to the music and everything.
I
Sweet
feel like at any second somebody's gonna be like, "That's one
Dynamite,
groovy nigga."
Dynamite,
like,
Dynamite,
like,
Dynamite. Like when he
Oh,
says "Sweet Christmas," I'm expecting a Dynamite music to come out of nowhere, just
right.
and him
you
to pan to
know
the camera, just like, hey,
and I think the reason why is because like when Luke Cage was created, he came
Hmm.
up in that black exploitation era, so
mhm.
True.
he looked like a black exploitation hero in the comic book. And it's kind of hard to take that kind of campiness and like talk and put it in like this kind of era and make it like relevant because that's what he really was, like a black exploitation superhero. So it's
Yeah.
like y'all said, it feels almost like Black Dynamite, like campy. It feels like sometimes he just gonna bust out and say, "Damn, girl, you come here with your fine self," or something like that.
right.
Because,
Exactly.
that's the kind of vibe it gives you. And like I think that's why we turn away more from it. Cause like with Black Lightning, something that really like it was an episode that really made me realize like, man, this show is like sometimes it get real. Like he was in front of his school and the police just came and straight up like beat him down in front of his students. And the
Hmm.
thing with Black Lightning is
Mhm.
he doesn't abuse his powers because if he like Josh said, if he wants to, he could just obliterate. I can't get the word. He could just disintegrate anybody if he wants to with his powers. That's how powerful he is. But I can't do that because I gotta set an example. So he rather take a like I'm talking about A1 ass whooping in front of his students instead of like, nah, I ain't gonna take this no more. But that just shows like he's strong and he has to, he knows his responsibilities as being a hero and being, a father figure, a leader, a mentor. So I think that's why that show kind of like pulls me in more because it's kind of more real because that's what I think as black men like with us I think we would deal with that same thing. So it kind of
Yeah.
you kind of relate to it a little better.
I mean, I
Mm-hmm.
loved Luke Cage when it came out, season 1 and season 2. Like season 2 was better than season 1 in my opinion, just because his villain was just a dude that would just show up, beat his butt, and just leave. Like he would just kick his butt and leave. That was his episode. He'd come, Bushmaster come up, and just leave. And it was just like that level of like having another black like black hero versus black villain kind of thing, like a rehash of season 1 was
Yeah.
cool. That it wasn't tied to like some family thing. Like it was just like
Oh
a
yeah.
dude, like a random dude didn't like you and was just like, let's fight. Like,
Yeah. No, I mean those. I guess it's just too. It's like apples and oranges, I guess. But in their own right, they're both still good shows. I
yeah,
definitely dig them.
Yep.
And just to weigh in again on some more stuff from the Arrowverse, I really wanted to hear like Demetrius. I wanted to hear you and Joshua's like thoughts on like how well the superheroes were portrayed in Legends of Tomorrow because they talk about there's so many types of heroes like in
yeah,
those shows.
like, oh, I mean,
Well, well, one thing about Legends of Tomorrow is I think they handle all the other superheroes, every other superhero really good. Like
mhm.
they have episodes dedicated to every superhero, and I also really like the episode with Firestorm, where how the crew went back to slavery times and
Mhm.
kind of
Mm.
touched on that.
Yeah,
And basically they didn't go too far with it. They just that was basically they were just on a plantation and they were just talking to all the other slaves and stuff, but it wasn't too big on the idea, but I
Hmm.
just appreciated the representation of Firestorm, and he's just not
Mm.
just a guy that fuses with a scientist to make this superhero. They went back in time for that to try to correct certain things with that. But yeah, they
yeah,
represent all those superheroes well.
I gotta check that out.
Yeah, I like the
yeah.
fact that they touched on that. That's pretty cool.
So like, and it wasn't like they went there like without a purpose. Like they went there, and the episode revolved around it. So like they had to be there. Like they had like it wasn't like they were like, okay, we're gonna go back here and talk about it. They had the episode twine into it, so it had weight to the actual show. So it wasn't just like a throwaway. It was, it was something that they incorporated, which I liked, and I liked his character. I think that they did well with his character Jax. They did good with him, and they brought Constantine on there, which is one of my favorite characters. And whenever I see Constantine, I'm just already game. And they had Wally on there. They had Wally West. They had all different all stars come on the show from time to time, which I think is cool because it's like they don't have to be in their show. They don't have to be weighed down by like the Flash or whatever show they're a part of. They can go and jump from time to time and do whatever they want. Like they brought they're called the Justice League of America or something like that, or JLA. The old like back in like the original 40s one.
Justice Society.
Justice Society. Yeah, Justice Society of America, and like that was cool. Like, and then they just recently gave one of them their own show, so like it was cool.
Was it Stargirl?
Yeah. So it's cool. I think it's probably one of the best shows on there, meaning like season to season, because like there isn't much to. They're not grounded by anything. Like the Flash has to fight a speedster most times for it to be like show. You have to fight the Reverse Flash, like.
And it gets old so fast.
Yeah, or like Supergirl gotta fight like a World Breaker, or Lena Luthor, the Lex Luthor's sister. She has to fight that that Superman equivalent villain. So it's like good to see like them going to different times and having a lot of fun just being in those time periods. So it's cool.
Right, like Legend of Tomorrow is way more diverse and it's lighthearted.
Yes.
Everybody has certain problems that they have to deal with, and it spans with like other heroes that are on the ship.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that about it too, because from what I've seen with that show, I think the lightheartedness really helps it out because it's a show that knows what it is. Because I remember one episode they were literally went back in time to help Elvis, and they just took that small. Because I remember the beginning of the episode, like one of the characters or one of the heroes like asked his girlfriend if she knew who Elvis was, and she was like no, and they took that whole premise and stretched it out over a whole episode of, and that's cool. Like I like that sort of stuff. Like it's silly, it's not. It gives you that kind of that old school Batman-esque vibe, like from the old original series. Like it's just fun stuff. It's not like Arrow where everything is so dark and brooding for no reason, and it doesn't help pull the story or perpetuate the story forward at all. You know what I'm saying? Like but yeah, I like those were all great points. And as far as brooding shows go, I wanted to also hit on the Gotham television series, and that's definitely an exception because it's literally a series that doesn't contain Batman. So, I just wanted to hear how do y'all think they handled that series well without having the main protagonist. As far as the story is concerned.
And such, but yeah, I wouldn't say it's lighthearted, but it focuses on one central topic. It's about the Gotham Police Department.
Yeah.
True. It's like Law and Order with supervillains, basically.
Yeah.
That's true. So, what were y'all some of y'all's like favorite villains from the show?
Let's see.
I like.
Oh, go ahead.
I enjoyed the Riddler. I don't know why, but like every time he was on there, like I was sold on him like 100%. Like guy who played him, like that's probably my favorite portrayal, like of the Riddler, like in live
action.
Because that's who the Riddler really is. Like he's kind of messed up in the head, but he's like super smart. But he's like a psychopath at the same time. And you got to see those two sides of him in the show. And then the fact that he started out, working with the GCPD, it just, made it even like more in depth, like how his character, started out innocent and then this happened, and then it led to this, and then it led to that, and then you just see him become a Riddler. I thought that was one of the villains that kind of caught my eye. But they do,
Yeah.
as far as like villains, I think that show did a good job, like, developing the villains, instead of them just coming out already being like whoever they're supposed to be.
True. And just to bounce off of what you were saying, as far as the Riddler from that show, because I liked him, but I was kind of like wasn't completely sold. I guess because I was so oversaturated with the idea of what Jim Carrey brought to the table when he played the Riddler in Batman Forever. So like when comparing those two, Marcus, like which like do you think the Riddler character should be like this wacky over the top, or do you think he does a little better by being kind of subdued a little bit like they had him in the Gotham television series?
Well, you can kind of mend them both together because he is that kind of wacky over the top, but at the same time, he's cynical. At the same time, evil and diabolical. Like I think in the the Arkham games, they kind of
Mm-hmm.
blend both of them pretty good.
They do,
And
yeah.
he does like where he gets like a little cuckoo, and then he tells the riddles, and then sometimes he can get real dark and evil and like murderous, and like he actually be killing people and stuff. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like he has to have both of those. That's what makes him, who he is, because he's supposed, they say most smart people are somewhat, insane, and he goes insane, but he's this smart guy at the same time. So
Right.
I think like as far as the portrayals, like they both brought to the table what he is, and
Mm.
of course with Batman Forever, that's another time. I ain't gonna talk about. We talking show. Like I just had a flashback to my childhood, so that's why I paused like that. So back to Gotham.
But but yeah, about Gotham, what did you guys think about the portrayal of Joker?
I liked it. I thought it was cool. Like I liked the person who played him. Like he was cool. Like he came out and was doing his own thing, and he had the scars and stuff on his face later on. I was like, that's
Mm-hmm.
sick. Like it was cool. I was like, I'm cool with it. Like when he introduced him, I was like, okay, that's my favorite. He's gonna be my favorite character, and he did not let me down the whole run. I was like, cool.
Yeah, that's I agree with Demetrius. Like I think it was like a fresh take on the Joker, and I love how now they keep they do like in the comic book where they give him like these different origins, like
Mm-hmm.
different people. Like he could be
Mhm.
anybody, and I love
Mm-hmm.
the whole like Jerome thing, and then with with his twin brother, and like how he was I just loved it because it's almost like he studied like all the versions of the Joker and tried to dip and dab in a little bit of them. So I enjoy it. I think it worked
Yeah.
well for the show, especially for that show.
Yeah.
Cause like they did the whole like his face thing or whatever, like from the comics, like when he had to stick his face
Yeah,
back on, and I
that
was like,
was
Yeah.
whoa,
a show, bro. I didn't think they was gonna do that.
I didn't know.
He was
Right.
stapled back on and was coming off, and it was really gruesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
No, it was. I really appreciated that. I think it was Cameron Monaghan. He did a really, really, really good job.
Mm.
I liked, uh, and I think it kind of was kind of a tragic story, man, about that portrayal of the Joker, because I feel like due to licensing, well, I know for a fact due to licensing issues and them, because if you remember the show, like for the first I guess well, I can't remember how many seasons Cameron was in, but they didn't even refer to him as the Joker because at that same time you had Suicide
yeah.
Squad coming out with the guy that we're not gonna mention,
Right.
but but I loved Cameron, man. I think he did really well as the Joker up until like the last couple episodes, man. Because when they showed that final Joker design, like it
Yeah,
was so
that
disappointing.
like real
Yeah.
candy. Like it just didn't feel like the Joker. I mean, I like you said, I understand as far as like licensing why they couldn't do like certain things, but they could have did a lot better.
A lot. They could have did a whole lot better, but go ahead.
Batman suit, like I was saying, even with how the Batman suit was, I kind of felt let down with
the
that.
proto Batman suit.
Yeah,
that crap.
Like one of us could have made and put on.
Yeah.
You got so much money, but it looks like we made it. Like it looks like we made that with our low budget. Like
he looked like he got that from Walmart. That
That
looked like a Walmart
on the clearance rack, bruh.
Right on that mess looks so bad. I'm just like, really, y'all. The last 2 episodes really felt like they just ran out of, like, they had a time schedule that they had to fit, and they just like couldn't get any good writing done. And they were just like, okay, let's just throw something out there because that was awful. It was it was a bunch of build up for nothing.
I'd rather them just in the show with him like going off the train, like, and leading up to him to become Batman, and build it up, and then you see like, because even with the guy, they kept the guy who was Bruce Wayne through the show. They let him be in the suit, but like he's like Dmitri size, and like he in a suit, like he don't look intimidated. Like,
damn.
I'm not saying that about you, Dmitri. Like you wouldn't be like threatened by him or nothing if you see him come up to you, because like he ain't that big of a dude.
I mean, yeah, I'm
like, all right, cool, whatever. You know what? Like, you heard Chad Films last podcast. You heard this podcast. Like, come on, man.
Hey,
starting off.
Hey, I mean, look, Demetrius, if you came up to me, man, at 12 o'clock at night in a Batman costume, I'm gonna be threatened, bro. I'm gonna be kind of scared. I ain't gonna lie.
Thank you for that. Thank you for doing it. Even if it's not true, thank you for it. Like, if you don't believe it, thank you. Like, I'll appreciate it.
I'm gonna be a little threatened.
It's like if I see you on a rooftop, I'm be like, "That's that dude Batman up there."
That's that dude.
That's that dude.
That's what I'm saying. So hey, but I do get what you were saying, Marcus.
I understand.
But I feel like if they were gonna do that, they should have did like they did with Selena Kyle, because they totally switched the actress for the older Catwoman.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They should have switched them out.
A better time scoop.
Yeah, exactly. It should have been like a whole brand new time skip, and then we got like an older guy in the Batman suit. And once again, I think it was a licensing thing, because they barely even showed it. Like they kind of showed a little bit of it, and then cut it, and it was like
it was stand up real quick, and then it was like boom, that was the end of the show.
Yeah, but on the opposite side of that, I really, really, really love what they doing with the Batman in the Titan series. That bat suit is sick, man. Like, have y'all seen that?
I put Titan season 1 and whatever season they're on now in the trash because I wasn't gonna watch it.
In the trash? Why?
Cause when I saw Starfire, I was just like, yeah, I'm just not gonna be about it. And then I saw Beast Boy, what they did to my boy Beast Boy. Come on, like I understand what they had to do, I get it, but like, don't tease him like that. Don't put him out there if you ain't gonna commit to it. Like, don't put him out there like that.
What you mean? So what didn't you like? I completely understand. Because my thing is with her, I feel like a lot of people were upset because it was a black woman. But my thing is like, she's an alien. She's not human anyway, so she can be whatever kind of skin tone she wants. But they didn't have to.
Nah, she gotta have the bronze, dude. Like,
you think so?
You can have a black actress play her, but like try to be as much as you can to the comic books. Like, I don't mind the actor, like the actress. I don't like, that's cool, but. Like, at least try to have her skin at least a little bronze if you can. Like, at least try. Like, at least give it a attempt. Like, they didn't even try. They threw a wig on her and a coat and was like, "You Starfire now."
Now
like,
the costume is trash.
You Starfire now. Like,
the streetwalker costume is trash, but but that's my only thing. Like, I think, and the hair isn't that great either. But I'm just like, hey, I think it could have worked with a black actress if she just had. Because what's her race? She's like Tamaranian or something. Is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you just had like the traditional Tamaranian garb, kind of like how they do in the comics and in the Teen Titans animated series, I think it would have been fine. But that was one of my only gripes with it, because in that series, I love what they do with Robin, with both Robins. I like Beast Boy. I think they made a good choice by not making him this walking green guy. Like
Like,
it doesn't translate well.
I mean, I understand what they did. I'm just like I'm kind of mad because like I'm a Beast Boy. Like that's like one of my favorite Teen Titans. So like when I saw him, I was just like, I'm not impressed. I see what you did, but I don't know if I'm gonna watch it. Like I was just not.
I'm definitely gonna give it a try because from what I've seen, it's my kind of like show where it gets like I when I heard Robin say "F Batman," I was like, shoot,
Right.
I want to know what Batman did to this dude. 'Cause it's straight up like I ain't messing with this dude no more. And then the fact that they had Jason Todd is another reason I wanted to watch it because we have not got a live action version of Jason Todd in any kind of like shows
Right.
or movie.
Yeah,
And I think that's a character that they really like show no love to. I don't know why,
I
but
love Jason Todd. Like he's
that's
my
what I'm saying.
favorite.
I think he's one of the coolest Robins
Yeah.
because he's not like a choir boy. He don't go by the rules. He fights with Bruce and Batman all the time. Like he always getting into arguments with him, and he like, man, I'm finna go do my own thing. Like he was kind of like Damian Wayne before Damian Wayne, but Damian Wayne
Yeah.
a little bit more, a little evil and stuff. He a little bit
Yeah.
crazy. He cray. You know what I'm
He
saying?
cray.
He's crazy.
But But yeah, man, like totally for all our viewers out there on YouTube and for all our listeners on Power 214, man, look, even if you don't feel like getting the app, getting the DC app to watch the series, at least go on YouTube, and what I want you to do is watch the scene where Jason Todd is fighting the police officers in the Gotham series. If that don't convince you, nothing else will. Jason Todd kicks some straight ass. I mean, he's not playing no games.
I gotta
in the
watch
show.
it. I gotta watch it.
That
Like,
is some
Yeah, I
crazy
gotta watch
mess.
it.
Like,
I gotta watch it.
I gotta see him go off.
man,
I got
I'm
it.
telling you, if y'all don't watch nothing else, I'm telling you, watch the scene. Watch the watch the scene.
I think he's talking to you, Demetrius.
He's looking at me. He's like, you.
I'm telling you, bro.
You.
It's real. I'm talking about, bro. The show is just. I don't want to. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. One of the first scenes of the show was Joker getting thrown off of a building and like smacking right into a car, bro. They killed Joker in like the first episode. Like
What?
the show. Batman is going wild, bro. Batman is crazy in this show.
I think I'm about to watch it now because that's
I gotta go see it.
I gotta look it up.
Yeah,
Batman killing folks, bro. Y'all gotta watch this show. It's crazy.
I gotta see Jason Todd go off first, though. Like, that's gotta be my intro to the series. Like, see him just go smack, throwing hands.
Jason did this crazy move, man, where he broke this female police officer's back. Oh my god, it was sick. So, like I said, y'all just gotta watch it, man. And one of my biggest gripes, though, about that series, I'll be honest, I can't even remember what superhero they traded Cyborg for. I don't even know why they did that, because there's another series.
Yeah.
What's that called?
Doom Patrol.
Doom Patrol.
Yeah,
Right.
Doom Patrol. He's on there.
And Cyborg's on it, so I'm like, if
But
Cyborg's
you know
on,
what's crazy?
what's up?
In the Teen Titans series, Beast Boy was part of the Doom Patrol, and that's how he joined the Titans.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
They flipped it, so I was like, I don't know if that was like a writing decision or if I don't know what it was, but
I don't know why they did that.
either because I was like, how you gonna have the Teen Titans and not have Cyborg in there?
Yeah, where my man Cyborg at? Booyah.
Right.
With some crazy folks.
Right, but they did do the Doom Patrol did really well with Cyborg, and he looks awesome. Like, he's not crazy looking like they did in the movie. You know, he looks really good.
And I heard that show is pretty good. I've been hearing a lot of like good reviews about it, and I think it got renewed for a second season. So I think they're doing another season of it. So I think it's because it ties into the Titans too. It's all part of that like universe. So it's,
Oh, okay. So they're all connected. So we might see Beast Boy on the Teen Titans,
yeah,
you know, sooner or later, you know.
So
Ex-
it
yeah, exactly. So you might you might get to see it. So I just really hope that they do have not Beast Boy, but
The
Cyborg
Cyborg, yeah,
do a crossover to
you
the
should.
Titan series. But it's pretty cool, and I just kind of like how DC pretty much has a hold on the like television superhero universe. Like DC is doing it, man.
And
As far as that,
animated universe too.
and,
oh,
and
they
Like
animated.
animated, there's top notch, dude.
Oh,
You ain't touching them.
yeah,
whoever writes those films and like put the whole like story together, oh my goodness! Even when they adapt like the
yeah.
comic book versions of them, oh man, I love those. Are like some of my favorite animated.
Mhm.
Like Marvel
Yeah.
Yeah.
catch up with them on that one. I'm sorry.
Nah,
I'm
they ain't touching
serious.
them.
I'm serious. Even like the because I just recently watched the what was it, Superman Red Sun the other day. Amazing.
Oh, when he went
It's
to
some
Russia, right? Or
yes,
Germany.
the Russian versions of the Justice League characters. It's amazing. Like and I just don't understand why you have TV shows and this is part of the reason why we wanted to do this podcast anyway, because it's like a weird dynamic because you have the same source material but you just have different media. In the television shows is great, in the animated movies is great, but when you get to the cinematic universe, it's like why does it fall off like that? Like I don't understand.
It's
I
because
never understood.
they just trying to catch up. Like they're trying to catch up as quick as they can because they missed the ball when like Marvel started there. They missed that ball, and so
But
they're
you
like,
can't do that.
you got to tell the DC executives, all the people higher up, you got to tell them that. Like you got to be like, you can't start off with Justice League, man. You got to start off with like Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Superman, all those other guys,
And
and
they did
then you can do that.
they
Right.
did so backwards. Like they came out with Batman versus they did Man of Steel. Then they
Right.
just hit us with Batman versus Superman. Like, oh, here's Batman. He's been around for a few years. And it's like, oh, and Wonder Woman,
Yeah.
she's been around for 100 some years. And then it was like Justice League. Oh, here's Cyborg, and here's Aquaman, here's the Flash. Boom, Justice League. And
We're
then
like,
it's like
oh,
Right. We should
hours.
have had. Yeah,
like you want
it was
to.
crazy. Like, I mean, not to cut any of y'all off, but it should have been Cyborg the movie, Flash the movie before they decided to make a Justice League.
Exactly.
And then they wanted to tease the death of Superman at the end of Batman v Superman. Like they put like, hey, here's Doomsday. We ain't gonna explain him, but here he is, and he's gonna take out
Right.
Superman. Here you go. That's all you wanted, right?
Right. Looking like trash.
Exactly. And then that's another point to what you were making, Chad, about like the source material from like their shows and their animated films. Like the death of Superman animated film was like awesome. Like
Yes.
it was because I think it was done by the same people who did the Justice League like Unlimited, the
I think
animated series.
so.
I think I'm saying artists and like directors, and it was good. Like it was true to the source material, and they stayed on track. They kept it like it was just like what happened in the comic books, and like with the movie, they were just like, oh yeah, it's almost the end of the movie. We forgot to give the main villain. Oh, here goes Doomsday, who was like made from like Zod's dead corpse and some damn DNA from Lex Luthor. Like that was the
Man.
weirdest thing I
That
ever.
was the weirdest mess.
Coming in looking like the troll from like freaking Harry Potter or freaking Lord of the Rings, man. Coming in
Right.
just
Looking crazy.
like I was like, really, bro?
I'm like, where's his rock beard at? Like, who was on
Where's
the
his
design
edge?
team? Who was on the design team? But I mean, he looks so bad. I'm like, bruh.
He looked like
this
a
is
preform. He looked like the preform before the actual Doomsday comes out. Like the round one of the villain. Like when you're fighting the game and you're like you beat the first part of him, and then the second guy comes in and you're like, oh snap, it's Doomsday Part 2.
right. But the funny
Yeah.
part to me, if y'all pay attention to that scene, like I don't know why they did it like this. Like my boy Batman does nothing. Like he rides in on his jet. For real. Like he rides in on his jet and he's got his little gun with him. And then he's just like, all right, I'm gonna go over here behind this little rock.
Yeah, just stand and watch.
And does nothing. The whole time, because I don't think I ever really watched that scene. I watched it about a week ago. I'm like, okay, so Bruce is gonna do what? I was like I'm just waiting on him.
I think the
Fly
only
by
thing
the rock.
he did was like they had a moment where I guess he did like the little Batman pose from the Dark Knight Returns, just to make it like cinematic. And then after he did that, he was kind of like hiding, like, oh, did he win?
Right. I'm like, what the hell is going? Like he did nothing. I'm like, dude, it's. I don't know, man. I just don't understand the difference between like I said, the writing and the cinematic universe versus how they handle Batman on television shows. Because once again, and I'll talk about it again, the Teen Titans show. I mean, Batman, when they finally show him, uh spoiler alert, the way his costume looks, just like it's unlike any other Batman costume. Like he has just this straight like shield mask. Like it's epic, and he's just kicking butt, man. Like that's the dopest Batman like on television. That live action that I've seen. It's just like Jesus. I mean, it's so dope.
And you
Like,
know I gotta watch it now, Chad, because you know I love
You
Batman.
hyping it.
I'm
Batman.
telling you, and as far as the DC universe is going, y'all know they got they're talking about putting Michael Keaton back in the role of Batman again.
Oh, being an older Batman or Bruce.
Yeah, it's supposed to be for like a Flashpoint movie.
Yeah.
I know they're gonna tease Batman Beyond, and I'm gonna be mad about it because they're not gonna give him a full movie. But
They need to.
they need to give him a full movie.
Yeah.
Like
It's way overdue.
it is.
Yeah.
Like,
That they need to do a. I'm gonna tell you this straight up. If they do have a Batman Beyond movie, they need to like make it pretty much the live action version of that. What was it that? I don't know what it's called. The Return of the Joker. Is that it?
Yeah.
The Batman
oh
Beyond
yeah,
movie?
that movie.
That
Yeah,
would be great. That would be
yeah, that would
Because
be good.
that was I mean that's another one of my favorites. Like that mess was epic. Like they need to make that into definitely make that into a live action movie. But you know how DC handles stuff. You know they gonna mess it up again. So I mean it is what it is.
Like,
But
it is.
go ahead.
Who me?
Yeah, did you have something you
Oh
want
no,
to
I was like, it is. I was agreeing with you. It is what it is. Like they're not gonna do right. Like even in the Flashpoint movie, I know they're gonna mess up Thomas Wayne. I already know it. I already know he's just gonna mess him up. He's not gonna have his guns or something. They're just gonna not give him something.
I don't know. They might, because that's the same dude that played the comedian in The Watchmen, and he did great in that. So I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not saying him as an actor, but I'm just saying DC's not gonna give him the right like. They're not gonna have his character true to the character. They're gonna just do something different.
Yeah, they might. It just depends on. I don't know. I guess it's just like the actors and budgeting and all that kind of stuff. I guess when it all boils down to it, you could do a lot more with a cartoon than you can do with real people at the end of the day. So I'm guessing that's what it is.
I'm just saying, all he does is he's a Batman with guns. There ain't much hard to do with it. It's not hard to mess that up. He's a Batman with guns. Come on, like you can't mess it up.
Man, his 2 Colt 45, whatever kind of pistol, 9mm. Just get a man his pistols, man. That's all
Get
we
him
have.
the red and black and gray suit with the red eyes and let's go. Like let's go. I've been waiting.
Be difficult, man. I think they like making us upset sometimes.
You said they think they're like what?
I said I think they like making us upset sometimes.
Yeah.
Man, honestly, I don't know, man. I just hope going forward that that I don't even want them to take I don't want them to take a page out of Marvel's book. That's why I love so much, and just bringing it back around, I love so much what they did with the Joker movie, and I honestly think that's what DC needs to be, because a lot of the time, with Marvel movies, their superheroes are easy to portray because they're so superficial, and their backstory, and they're friendly. They're made to make toys out of. You know what I'm saying? Like they're is that, and that's what makes them easily marketable. On the DC side of it, you got all these heroes that are, they're like Shakespearean tragedies, like all of them, and they're all like not really marketable to children like that. Like they're all
Oh,
killers and psychopaths and all of this kind of stuff.
Mhm.
And I feel like if you're gonna make a movie like that, it needs to have that kind of overtone to it. It needs to be rated R, and it needs to be something that you're not trying to make products out of, because that's my biggest problem with the Zack Snyder's DC universe, because it seemed like all of his movies were tailored to try to make toys. You know what I'm saying? Make stuff to for kids to enjoy. And I love the fact that they didn't try to do that, because even if you notice with the Joker movie, there are no Joker products. Like if you try to buy a Joker action figure, are
it,
none.
it's not there. It's not there, and I agree with you on that, and that's why I would love to see like a rated R Batman film, because I I have been waiting since I was probably like in high school to see Deathstroke and Batman like have an actual fight on the screen,
Yes.
but it has to be rated R because like Slade, like when he fights, he doesn't hold anything back, and he almost brings out that side of Batman when they fight because they so similar. Like as far as
Right.
like style, how they train and what their ideas of how to do things a certain way. So it's so good to see. It's cool to see those two fight, and like one of the in the video game, I think it was Arkham Origins. That's
Hmm.
Yeah.
one of the best boss. It's
Yeah.
the hardest boss fight because it took me 100 times.
It was hard,
Me
man. He
too.
was coming out. He was like, I
Man,
was like,
Yeah.
dang.
like it's like I like what Chad saying. I would like to see more films done that way because even with that film, it almost felt like supernatural in a way, but it
Mm.
didn't at the same time because some things like you was like, is this really happening or is it really not happening? Like it made you question like reality, and I love stuff like that where you got to
Me
question
too.
reality and what's fiction.
Exactly, and that's why they need more directors like that. Like I would love to see you know Christopher Nolan take the reins again in another DC movie. You know what I mean? Like directors like that. And that's what I think. Another thing that Marvel does better than DC. Their directors are so like diverse. You know what I'm saying? Like they bring a lot of different stuff to the table. Um, and yeah, that's why I think like as far as their cinematic universe, that they're a lot better than DC in that way. So does anybody else have any like ending points or anything you wanted to mention before we kind of wrap up tonight?
Yeah, if you for our viewers, if you haven't watched Legends of Tomorrow, watch Legends of Tomorrow. Like, do it. Like, you will
Definitely.
not,
It's a great
you will
show.
not hate it. It is a
It's a good
great
show.
show, and it's a show you can relax and not have to think too hard about. Like, you ain't got to be like, oh, where is this guy coming from? It's just like they gave you what you want. They give you exactly what you want.
I'm definitely gonna watch it because I haven't seen it.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
I'm definitely
good.
watching by the time suggested.
Yeah.
I'm gonna check it out myself.
True that. Any
Right.
suggestions from you and Marcus, Josh?
Oh, I definitely recommend Black Light. Please
Man,
watch Black Lightning. It's really good. The episode names are great as well.
He said, "Please watch Black Lightning. Please watch Black Lightning."
You sounded like somebody threatening you, brother, man.
look like he in the
He's
room
like,
in the room with a gun and said, "Hey,
Right.
I tell
Please watch Black
"Please
Lightning.
watch Black Lightning."
My life depends on it. But how about you, Marcus? Any recommendations, bro?
like Josh said, Black Lightning because that's the one I got the most into. And as far as like shows, I probably go more on the animated side with things. I would
Okay.
suggest Young Justice. I
Hey.
haven't watched the newest season yet, but I heard it was really good. But that's
Mhm.
That's another good show where character development is really good as far as like their characters.
Mm-hmm.
And just to throw a throwback show in there, go watch Static Shock. So that is
Definitely.
Yeah.
that is an unsung show that has been forgotten, and I don't know why, but it needs to be brought back to
Yes.
It does.
media. So definitely, that's one of my shows. Those are
Live
my
action. Live action for 2021, bro. Live action for 2021.
For
Come
real.
on. Get us something.
For real.
Hey,
Michael B. Jordan.
if anybody, hey, whoa, time out. Y'all gotta stop acting one thing. I can't put every black movie, okay? I love him as an actor, but y'all gotta give that a break. Like every
Gotta
Michael B. Jordan.
just get Michael B. Jordan to do it, y'all.
Well, yeah, man, yeah. But that's my suggestion. But DC, if y'all ever see this video, future filmmaker, I'm willing to do Static Shock. So hey, I'm pitching my career right here. I'm putting it on the
There
line.
you go.
Hey,
Boom.
man. Speaking of reality, man.
Speak it into existence, bro. It is gonna happen. Speaking into existence. But yeah, for me, definitely like I was saying earlier, yeah, go check out Teen Titans. Like check out honestly, even if you haven't seen the original animated Teen Titans, don't watch Teen Titans Go. It's stupid. But the original Teen Titans and then the Teen Titans live action show is really good. And that's kind of unfair. Teen Titans Go, it's funny.
It's got its
funny.
moments. Like there was one today. Like today, I laughed at an episode because like I was watching it with for work or whatever, and like the joke was that like the inner voice in the dude's head was like a narrator, but then
I
the end of
saw
the
that.
episode, like he took Starfire from
I saw
Robin.
that.
I was like, what?
Yes, that was hilarious. Yeah, and yeah, that's a good one. And just to like piggyback off of that too, another DC show that's pretty good, that doesn't take itself too seriously is that new Harley Quinn show. Like if y'all haven't had the chance, that's a good show.
Really?
It's funny as crap. Yes. Like check out that new Harley Quinn. That's one you got to watch off of the DC app too, though. So no.
Well, I'm not with it.
Hey man, you know what I'm saying? I have my ways, okay?
Well, look. Well, look. If you want to legally watch,
hey, don't put me out like that. Don't put me out like that.
So for our viewers and listeners out there, if you want to legally watch it, definitely download the DC app. But
please don't pirate, man. Don't pirate.
Right.
Stuff, man. I'm not condoning that. I didn't mean that when I said that.
Sure.
Hey, that's not what I was saying, man. I have connects, okay?
Whatever. But anyway, but yeah, y'all. I appreciate you guys for being here tonight. Once again, everybody, we are the Square Roundtable. I am your host, Chad Singleton, and these are my wonderful co-hosts. Go ahead and introduce yourselves, guys, once more.
Oh, D.
I am Josh. I am Josh.
Marcus in the building now.
All right.
Hey.
That's what I'm talking about. And yeah, guys, once again, if you're on YouTube, please comment, subscribe, like our videos, man. Put your thoughts down there. What are some of your favorite cartoons in the DC universe? What are your favorite live action shows? Like, we want to know. We love your feedback. And yeah, check us out also every Friday at 1 to 2 Eastern time, 12 to 1 Central time, and 10 to 11 Pacific time on power214.com. We really appreciate the love, y'all. We appreciate all our viewers and everybody that follows us on social media and everybody that supports us. Thanks for coming along with us on this journey, guys. We really appreciate it. Once again, we have been the Square Roundtable. See y'all next week. Peace.
Out.